Well, thank you guys very much for that acknowledgement. I don't get a lot of acknowledgement because I made the mistake of marrying somebody out of my league. And it is hard being the Danny DeVito to the Arnold Schwarzenegger. It is hard being the Pete Davidson to the Kim Kardashian. And you know it's hard being Dog the Bounty Hunter to pretty much anybody, I think. And I did good for myself, guys. I am a short, fat, white, Jewish vegetarian with a Nova-bearing mother. My husband, I know for some of you that might be a surprise. For you it was, yeah. I'm sorry she's a homophobe. So I'm just teasing. No. My husband is a 6'9" athlete. Loves his basketball. Loves his mama, Jesus, weed, barbecue. You know, typical Southern white boy. Not where you thought I was going, I wasn't. You know that fat white girls do marry white guys. Sometimes. But the ones that don't, oh, I've seen the porn hubs. I do not blame you. And I'm always being reminded that my husband is out of my league. We walk into a restaurant together. He says, "Table for two, please." At which point the hostess looks at him and goes, "I'll be right with you, sir." Turns to me, DoorDash pickups right over there at the counter, man. I go to my husband's work events. His colleagues are like, "Oh my God, you are so much fun. That's so cool, your brother brings you to these things." When it happens, I don't get mad. I walk up to him, give him a big old kiss on the mouth. Start talking about what it was like for us as kids being raised in the South. And then I was like, "Oh my God, this is my husband's work, I can't do that." So I go back and I'm like, "Hey, just so everybody knows, we do have different dads." Oftentimes there's a lesbian off to the side. Come here, come here. So I've got this lesbian friend, and I think the two of you guys would absolutely hit it off. Well, I understand the confusion. So I say, "Thank you, that's very flattering." She doesn't happen to have a large penis, does she? When my husband and I go on vacation, we like to do a little role playing. My husband will say something flirty to me across the bar, offer to buy me a drink. As I make my way around, the bartender leans in. "Sir, I think you've had enough to drink." A few drinks later, a little bit of making out with my husband, he takes off to the bathroom. Bartender comes back. He thinks he's doing him a solid and goes, "You know he's married, right?" I'm like, "Of course I do. That's my brother." But I don't care about any of that because this year my husband and I celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary. So for those of you who don't know, it is the Crystal anniversary. Like any good wife, I got him a hooker. You want to guess her name? No, it's Rita, but for an extra 50, she's into role playing too. Next year's the 16th wax anniversary. You better toughen up those nipples, huh? People ask me all the time, doesn't it get boring being married for so many years? I'm like, how can it be? Just the other day, he came up with a new nickname for me. It is SpongeBob SquareAss. Now, I don't know what possessed them to say that to my face. Just like I don't know what happened to his new PlayStation controller. Or the TV remote. Or his gas station porn collection. But we're just about even. People also ask me, how did you meet? And I tell them, we met the old-fashioned way. AOL chat rooms. Tinder of the 90s, right? Yeah. It took me 30 minutes to download that dick pic. Somehow it made it seem longer. My screen name on AOL was Loves the Scissor. Any other scrapbookers out there? No? S&M room. Single and mature. And I am glad I met my husband when I did, because they were not all mature. No, Gimp Boy 69. I do not want to pee on you while you blink into my vagina. Now y'all are probably wondering why I'm talking to this guy. That's Gimp Boy. Dad, say hello to everyone. And I want to be clear, like, I was not a bait and switch wife either. Like, I did not start off skinny and then let myself go. I had the courtesy to let myself go years before I met my husband. And you know, my husband's not a chubby chaser. Fat girls do not run. As a matter of fact, if you see me running, y'all need to be running. Because, girl, we are in danger. But my husband's with me because I've got personality. And roofies. And whips and chains and clamps and cuffs and one of those Chinese finger devices. And a very soundproof basement. Now, fortunately for me, my husband turned out to be a nice guy. Like after the roofies wore off. And I just want to state for the record now that nice guys do not finish last. They finish first. Just like all you other guys. But ladies, you can make them sleep in the wet spot. Ding, 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 roll out into the winner's circle. Now, you want me to give you a minute? Now I'm glad particularly that I'm married because I have friends that are single, and it's hard. Recently, a good friend and I, we went to this bar called the Rusty Nail. We were doing shots, we're talking to these guys. Her and one of the fellas, they took off into the parking lot. When she came back, I'm like, so what happened? And she says, I let him cut his rusty nail in my dusty snail. I'm like, 2 shots, we're going home. She's like, yay, shots! What kind of shots am I gonna get? I'm thinking tetanus and penicillin. Right? Now, when I was single, I, like many women, I went through a lesbian phase. But not that I did anything with anyone, just everyone assumed. Although at one point, I did come out to my parents as straight. I had just broken up with my fiance, had my friend Marge staying with me. We'd hang out in my room, listening to my favorite song, Africa by Toto. You know, it's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. Yep, somehow my mom thought I might be in a relationship with Marge. And when she asked me about it, I was so incredibly offended. I could not believe that my mom would think that I could not do better than Mug Musty Marge. Now, and it took a lot to convince my parents too. Like I would steal my Uncle Gary's Playgirl magazine just so she could confront me and be like, but Mom, I like looking at all those penises. Said no woman ever. But only people really asked me out were women. And so, like, when I was going to nightclubs, I was going to dive bars just like my husband, not too picky. So one day my sister comes over and is helping me practice for softball. And I said, why does everyone think I'm a lesbian? And she's like, I don't know. Your hat, your hair, your shirt, your pants, your shoes. You hang out at Home Depot, you drive a Ford F-150, you follow women's basketball, and you still use bar soap. And I was like, yeah, that does sound like a lot of lesbian. But none of that matters now because I am married. If my hair is a mess, I am wearing a trucker cap. If I am cold, I am wearing a flannel, with or without the wife beater. Sensible shoes, bunions, y'all. Don't want to bring a purse? Bring a wallet with a chain. Safety first, ladies. But then my husband comes up with a cute nickname for me. He's like, come here, my little trucker. Backs that rig up. I'm like, boop, boop, boop. And I know what stuff off, and he's like, no, leave that. Shoot. Is my husband gay?